you mentioned Belichick. Obviously, that's been kicked around. That seems farcical, though. He wouldn't. Would Kyle make the call?
You mean as far as if Belichick's on the staff?
Yeah, I've already seen it written. Would Kyle Shanahan pick up the phone and call Bill Belichick and say, "Do you want to be defensive coordinator?" That sounds insane.
They have a relationship. They text back and forth. When Jimmy Garoppolo was traded to the Niners by Belichick, it was Belichick reaching out to Kyle. And obviously John Lynch, they've made other trades, and they've talked. So maybe you do it through a intermediary or an agent. You don't want to offend him. But he was a great defensive coordinator. I mean, the two greatest games ever coordinated in history is when he beat the Niners in the 1990 championship game and the Leonard Marshall hit on Joe, and then what he did to the Bills in Super Bowl 25 playing nickel the whole game. I mean, he loves defense. That would be up to him. You probably know him a little bit. I mean, does he want to go into TV? Does he want to come in and coach defense for a year? I don't think it'd be insulting to reach out to him, but would he want to do it? If he wanted to do it, hell, go at it. And then the question would be if he's on the staff. Kyle's still the head coach, but Belichick knows the pecking order. I mean, when he was with Parcells, there was a lot of snapping there, going back and forth. He knows how a structure is work. He's respectful of his job. Now, would he want to do it? I'm not going to speak for him, but he could come here and win a Super Bowl. And then also, maybe take some of the Niner offensive coaches with him when he goes to his next stop or players that are going to be available. I'm not going to speak for Coach Belichick. That's up to him. I think Pete Carroll would be more of a natural fit because with Belichick, he likes to vary his fronts. It'd be a very different defense. Not saying he has to run a 3-4 but Bill does vary things, which Kyle may be open to. I mean, I've spoken to Kyle many times about Bill Belichick. He's the best defensive coach of maybe of all time, certainly of recent years. So he has great respect for him. There's no doubt. It's glowing, and Mike Shanahan does as well. They went at each other a lot, but I think that's just as far as a structure, you'd have to change things, and ultimately, whoever the name is, you want them to get the most out of your players. So what's the best defense to run for Fred and Dre and Nick and Charvarius Ward and Diamondor Lenore and Talanoa Hufanga? That's who you're trying to serve. But Pete Carroll, the defense the Niners are running and has since Kyle's been the head coach.
It's Pete's defense.
Seattle defense.
Yeah.
It's Seattle's. And he's the guy who did it. So he got away from it a little bit the last couple of years. He's from the Bay Area. He used to be a defensive coordinator of the Niners. In fact, when Mike Shanahan left to become the head coach in Denver, I think he moved into Pete Carroll moved to, I don't want to say Mike's house, but then I think the same school district. They all just kind of swapped. And Pete's from here. He's from Marin, Greenberry. And so, I mean, does Pete want to do that, though? He's been coaching as the head coach level for 20 years. He hasn't run a defense since he was with the Niners in the mid-'90s. So I don't know. I mean, Mike Vrabel may still want to be ascending. They do have internal candidates. I think the one people aren't talking about, obviously, Chris Kasarik, the D-line coach, Johnny Howland, the linebacker coach, Daniel Bullock's the secondary coach. But there's a guy on the staff, Nick Sorensen, who was with Pete Carroll in Seattle when they won the championship and they won the Super Bowl 10 years ago. And he did a number of things on that staff, special teams, and then he segued over. He did play DB in the NFL, and he's very instrumental. Just watching him run the defense on, walk-through Saturdays and scout preparations. He's the one who's really hands-on quite a bit. But he's never, run a defense before. It'd be somewhat of a leap of faith. But at the same time, neither did D'Amico Ryans. He had a good idea he could do it, but D'Amico was a great linebacker and a linebacker coach. So it'll be intriguing to see which way Kyle goes. First of all, do you want to go internal, external, inside the building, outside, and do you want to change the structure of the defense at all, or do you want to stay predominantly being a cover 3-based defense?
And then if it's Pete or Vrabel or Belichick, then I want the cameras in there for Hard Knocks because that would be must-see TV.
No, we wouldn't have to. We went to the Super Bowl last year.
I know, but
we don't meet the
requirements. Still just do it.
I know.
Which they wouldn't do it.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.